What it do, vinyl community? Welcome to the Fluffy Records YouTube channel. My name is Brian, that's Brian, and today I decided to shoot another Fresh Off the Platter video. This is Fresh Off the Platter number 10. Um, Finally had some time to, sit down, make a video, show records, and have a small stack for today. I have been, I think, out of all the Fresh Off the Platter records that I've shown, this stack might be the ones where I've been listening to the most, probably because I really dig this music, the album, the tunes on these albums. Anyways, yeah, if you guys hear any chicken noises in the background, I apologize in advance because those are my neighbors. But yeah, I decided to shoot this video here in the living room once again because the my room is pretty noisy outside. There's a construction. Anyways, before I begin, please like, subscribe. I've been leaving my Instagram description or link in the description, so I would appreciate it if you guys would follow there. But if not, it's fine. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into this Fresh Off the Platter video. First one that I want to show today is a record that I've had for a while. I'm not even sure if I ever showed this one on the channel. This is one of those records that I bought towards the end of the year. This was an online order, and it kind of went well with the record I'm going to show. Goes well with a video that I recently uploaded, the Under the Radar Blue Note 1500 series video that I did. There's a particular artist whose I guess records haven't been reissued, but this is one that has by Music Matters, and that's Gil Malay or Jill Malay, Patterns in Jazz. This is a another one I would say that's under the radar, and I think this is one that's still available on the Music Matters website. I'm not sure why it's there we go. Not sure if many people have this record, but this is part of the 1500 series, 1517, and originally I believe came out originally came out as a 12-inch, unlike Gil Malay's other records that came out on 10-inch. I've mentioned in my previous video or a few videos back, but this is wonderful bop. Wonderful tunes on here, wonderful musicians. You have Gil Malay on baritone sax, Eddie Burt on trombone, Joe Cinderella on guitar, Oscar Pettiford on bass, and Ed Thigpen on drums. Don't sleep on this one. I think it's still available. I'm pretty sure it's still available. I checked yesterday, and it goes for, I don't know, 55, I think, I think this is the cheapest title that they have still in stock at 45. And mine just happens to be a one of these review copies or test pressings or whatever you want to call them. But let me tell you, I I put this on yesterday and it sounded absolutely fantastic. I was impressed with how this record sounded. I will say it does lack a little bit in the drums, but everything else sounded wonderful. This is a must own, I would say, and it's also because it's one of the cheaper ones. I mean, it's a little bit, I would say if you want more Blue Note records in the 1500 series, this is one to get. And perhaps we'll see more Gil Malay put out by Blue Note, right? So that's the one that I wanted to show. I'm not even sure if I showed it. So again, just wanted to show it. Here's one, I can't remember when this one was put out. This is on a new, not new, but this is on a label that I've started to recognize more. But this is Gary Bartz, and I've been getting into more Gary Bartz. So this is Gary Bartz. What is this? Juju Man, and this is a promo that I found. I think I got this one on eBay. This is one of the ones that I have only spun once. Was really impressed, but I've been streaming this one more. Streaming wise, again, I'm not sure why it is. It's probably the light here, but yeah, this is one I would say if you want to get into Gary Bartz's discography. I'm not sure if this is the one to begin with, but this is around the same time where he was putting out his milestone records and his yeah, pretty much his milestone. I think after he went on to Prestige and did a couple stuff there, but really nice on Catalyst and a really clean record, and I thought it sounded fantastic. There are some vocals on here. They play a rendition of my funny Valentine, and I think there's 2 Gary Bartz compositions here, but you have Gary Bartz on alto, soprano sax, clarinet, synthesizer, and vocals. Yeah, there's vocals on here on the first track, and I think even on my funny Valentine. But you have Charles Mims on piano, Curtis Robertson on electric and acoustic bass, and Howard King on drums, and as well as Sarita vocal on my funny Valentine. So I'm not sure this next part is gonna be like from sent out to a radio station or someone, DJ wrote this, but I thought it was pretty neat. It's like a letter or like a review of the album, but yeah, I don't know where this came from, but this is part of the listing from this eBay listing. But you have here Gary Bartz, just awesome pictures. I love these pictures here from, I guess this is the studio session, but you have some of Gary Bartz and the rest of the cats that contributed to this album, and of course you have the track listing and stuff. But this is a awesome record. I can't recommend this enough. This is one that I out of the ones that I have, surprisingly, I have that one from Milestone. Can't remember what the record's called, but I think it might have been the first Gary Bartz record that I purchased. But this is one that I've been streaming a lot lately. Gary Bartz, Juju Man. Next up is a record that I recently purchased, and I was disappointed with this one, so I'm showing it now than later because I'm probably going to sell this one. This is a Blue Note title that I got on eBay, and this is another incident where the seller awfully packaged this record, and it arrived. Anyways, the record that I'm talking about is 1967 released Jackie McLean, Action, Action, Action. This is not a original. This is a Liberty pressing with no Van Gelder, but it arrived with seam split. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it there. Where is it? It's somewhere over here, but it arrived with some seam slits. Got this one good for a good price. I think it was like $40, but you know, that was my only concern, and I did let the seller know, and essentially got my money back with no returns for not having to return this one. But it's a really clean disc, but I just did not enjoy the how this record sounded sonically. This does not sound. It sounds like if there was a a thin cloth or a thin blanket covered over your speakers. It's just not uh, great sounding. Musically, however, fantastic. The musicians on here are absolutely on fire. This is one that I would highly recommend having. I think this was recently put out as the Tone Poet. So if you're collecting all the Tone Poets and you missed this one, don't sleep on this one. But you have Charles Tolliver on trumpet, Jackie McLean on alto sax, Bobby Hutcherson on vibes, Cecil McBee on bass, and Billy Higgins on drums. This is I would say this is like an all-star lineup here, but this is great. I mean, Charles Tolliver, you got a young Charles Tolliver on here. This is absolutely great. Charles Tolliver is also on It's Time, so that one came out before, but great music. Just didn't like how this pressing sounds. I'm sure the Van Gelder or the Tone Poet sounds much better than this, but yeah, looking forward to getting rid of that. Next record is also an album that came out the same year, 1967. This one, however, is Van Gelder stamped and sounds amazing. It's on Prestige. This is Portrait of Sonny Chris. This is a stereo pressing of this record that I got on Discogs for not even 20. I think I got for less, but this already arrived with the sticker. I think a shop put this one out, but no one bought it, so had it listed on Discogs. This is a really good record. This is good hard pop. Sonny Chris, who I believe also had a few more albums or titles on Prestige. Sonny Chris, who are the rest of the cats here? You have Sonny Chris on alto sax, Walter Davis on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, and Alan Dawson on drums. This just happens to be a preview copy, but this sounds incredible. I really enjoy this one. I think this might be the place to start for Sonny Chris if you've never heard his music, but it is really great. I really enjoyed this one, and Van Gelder stamp right there. You can see. Anyways, yeah, really clean disc and awesome music. So I think this might be my first Sonny Chris record that I have. I always get Sonny Chris and Sonny Stitt confused because of the name. The next one, actually I only have a few more, but the next one is a local shop find. Always go to this shop. A couple of weeks, maybe not weeks, but a few videos back, rather, I showed a couple of Albert Eiler records, and there was one that I really wanted out of all of them, and I think it's the reason why is because it's the first one that I had listened to and actually really enjoyed. I was just looking out for this one, and surprisingly had no luck finding it. Or I guess you can find it online, but kind of goes for some dough. Anyways, fast forward. A few weeks back, I went to my local shop, and the owner knows me and always tells me that I can check out the boxes of stuff that hasn't put out yet, and I think he had just gotten this like a huge collection, and there were some boxes of jazz, and I pulled out a ton of heat. Unfortunately, I didn't take videos or pictures of them, but I did pull out the things I think would sell. This is one of them, and I'm surprised this one was priced really cheap. I got this one for $45. But the record I'm talking about is Albert Ayler Newgrass, 1969, and it is in it. I feel like this copy that I have here was never played, but this I really enjoy the music on here. Free jazz, some soul jazz, some people might even say avant-garde, but this is an excellent Albert Ayler record. Newgrass, and it just so happened to be a not for sale. I think that's the reason why it was for the first time underpriced. But yeah, I am really, really happy to bring this one home. And I'm still missing a few of the Albert Ayler on Impulse, and of course on ESP, but this is one that this is the one at the top of my Albert Ayler, I think. But this lineup is absolutely wonderful. So you have Albert Ayler on tenor sax and vocal, Carl Cobbs on piano, electric harpsichord, and organ, Bill Falwell on electric bass, Pretty Purdy on drums, Bert Collins and Joe Newman on trumpets, Selden Powell on tenor sax and flute, Buddy Lucas on baritone sax, and Garnett Brown on trombone. This is a freaking fantastic one. I can't say that enough, but and obviously these later Impulse records were not Van Gelder masters, but it sounds excellent, I think. But yeah, one that I'm still surprised that I got for relatively cheap, I think, in my opinion. This is one that I don't know if many people have. But again, really, really happy to finally see my Albert Ayler collection grow, and as well as my Gary Bartz. I should have taken out the records that I have of these two musicians to show you guys what I have, but yeah, very happy. Albert Ayler Newgrass. This next one is a eBay purchase. Got this one for, I think, pretty cheap, and I mean, I was a little nervous because this was priced. This was like an $80 purchase for I don't know, for a record that goes for some more money, but condition wise, in terms of the jacket, not it's seen better days, but the record is absolutely wonderful, I think. And yeah, this next one is Blue Note 4195. This is Herbie Hancock's Maiden Voyage, and it's a mono pressing. So, New York, address. I've been also been growing my Herbie Hancock collection. I have a few now that I've shown before in the past, like what's that one? Dimensions and Extensions. The Herbie Hancock's Taken Off, right? No, yeah, his first record on Blue Note, and other ones. But this is one that I'm glad that I crossed off the list. This is I think a staple of his catalog. But yeah, I mean the musicians on here is what makes this record so great. So Freddie Hubbard on trumpet, George Coleman on tenor sax, Herbie Hancock on piano, Ron Carter on bass, Tony Williams on drums. So yeah, am missing these two right here. The what's this one? My point of view and Empyrean record, but this record is absolutely just. I'm really happy the way this one looks, and of course it's Van Gelder stamp, so it's one that I wasn't expecting to grab this year. I thought this would have taken more time. Obviously, if I after cleaner copies, which I'm not, but I take these opportunities, and still have time to always upgrade my records. But this next one, the second to last, is one that I think out of all of these, I've been spinning the most. The music on here is incredible. I hope this one gets a reissue. I don't know if this is slept on. I think this is getting more attention now from the jazz community, but a really hard one, I would say, to find these days. Another one where I think I got for 80 on eBay. This is New Jazz, and this is Walt Dickerson's To My Queen. This is one that I highly, highly recommend streaming. I can't even explain to you how much it sounds way better just with listening to the record, but the music is absolutely wonderful. I mean, this is one that I cannot stop putting on my platter. This is just amazing modal post bop music by Walt Dickerson, who, if you guys don't know, is or I guess was a vibraphone player. Vibraphone players, some I think get slept on. Obviously you have the ones like Bobby Hutcherson. Let's see, Cal Jader. I'm naming the ones that I really, really like and enjoy. Some people enjoy Milt Jackson. I enjoy Terry Gibbs. The newer cats like Sasha Berliner and Joel Ross. I'm sure I'm missing on other what's it called, vibraphonists from today's time, but yeah, I mean Walt Dickerson is one that, I mean, his stuff, you can't miss any of his stuff. I think everything that he put out was great. I only have this one and another one. I can't remember his first one on New Jazz, but I have another one of his on New Jazz. But this is one that, I mean, To My Queen alone is worth having this record. But this is Walt Dickerson on vibraphone, Andrew Hill on piano, George Tucker on bass, and Andrew Cyril on drums. 1963, and yeah, I hope this one, gets reissued by OJC. It would absolutely. I think this one would, get people into listening to more Walt Dickerson. But yeah, this is a non-deep groove New Jazz, which usually indicates that it's recycled vinyl, is what people tend to say. Like, if there's no deep groove, recycled vinyl, and you hear a lot of the hissing and noisy. But this sounds, in my opinion, this sounds incredible. I have no complaints for this one whatsoever, other than the label, I guess. I don't know who did this, but yeah, this is one that another one I just think I didn't expect to find. And Walt Dickerson, can't remember if I think he had like maybe 2 or 3 records on New Jazz, but he also put some stuff later on other labels. But my last one here for today is from the same shop, and this one's kind of funny, I think. But uh, so a few weeks ago on the Jazz Bums live stream, which I know I keep mentioning or promoting, but they're awesome folks, and they always have like great people who have great knowledge of jazz. So, anyways, the Jazz Bumps a few weeks ago had a live stream. They live stream every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and um, so a few weeks ago they were live streaming, and this was at the very beginning. Rob the Wax, which I follow, and I enjoy his humor and stuff. He mentioned how he went to a particular shop, and the way he was describing it, I knew I feel like I had a sense that he was talking about the shop that I usually go to, and talked about a record that he found in the bins, was really clean, was not priced, and went up to the whoever was working there, probably the owner, and it was overly priced. But I feel like when he described the shop, I sort of knew right away, and I went on the Discogs to see if it was up there. And a few days later passed by, and I went to the shop and I looked at the record. I went to look at the record. This is one that I brought home because I honestly thought it was I don't know. I thought this was priced well. If you look at other past sales, I think this was a deal, but to each their own, and I respect his opinions and his and obviously he has a great knowledge of jazz. But anyways, thanks, Rob. I picked up Cannonball Adderley's Something Else, and this is one. This was priced at $230, which I think is a good price. I might have overpaid. Some people might say I might have overpaid, but I think this was a good price. This is an original mono, no ink, no R, and it's a really clean copy. I even tested it out at the shop. But yeah, I was I was just really I don't know where I'm going with this, but I I was just surprised to see that it was still there, and probably because not many people uh go there. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know. But this is one that's really clean, and I don't know who brought this in, but I think this is one of the records that I had seen in the bins prior, and I just never noticed that it was an original. And I just remember it being on price too. And I guess once he went, they took it off the shelf and they put it in their own shelf that they have by the counter. So yeah, this is one that I brought home, and this is the last record to show for today's video. And I guess I should mention the lineup here if you guys aren't familiar with Cannonball Adderley's Something Else. You have Miles Davis on trumpet, Cannonball Adderley on alto sax, Hank Jones on piano, Sam Jones on bass, and Art Blakey on drums. Once again, this is an original 1958 Blue Note Records, no ink. And I've been slowly but surely been collecting these original Blue Notes. So really happy. Um, Shout outs to Rob, and shout outs to the Jazz Bombs for, you know, for always what's it called, putting on to putting people on to new records, old records, and yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. I know I rambled on and on and on, and I can never uh, make a uh, lesser length, or not lesser length, but like a short video. But anyone who's always sticks around, I always appreciate you guys for tuning in. And yeah, if you guys want to see uh, the records that I post beforehand, go on my Instagram. I don't know if that made sense, but recently I put out I showed some bangers that I recently picked up. Some from the same shop that I picked up this Miles Davis, but for way cheaper. And I think I found some really great grails. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, leave a like, comment if you guys have any of these records or what you guys think about these albums. And hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care.